What's up, everyone? I'm the Astro Mama. I bring the cosmos down to earth to ground deep feelers, creatives, and mystics. So if you fall into any of those three categories, go ahead and tune into this week's AstroWeather Forecast for the week of February 23rd to March 1st, 2026. This episode is being recorded and comes out on a Tuesday. I'm noticing with my schedule, I just so happen to be most free on Tuesdays. It's interesting because we can now look back on Monday and see this is what the energy was like yesterday, reflect, group, reorganize, and have a new opportunity almost on Tuesday, on Mars Day, to restructure, revise, and renew as we head into the rest of the week. So I'm going to take this as a sign that this is what we should be doing moving forward. One of my mentors, his name is John Shotland. He's from the Psycho Spiritual Institute. And he told me that every day we wake up twice. At first, we wake up to the chaos of our life, to our insecurities, our overthinking patterns, our obsessions. And then the next time we wake up is to ourselves. And for some of us, it doesn't even happen until we go to bed. For others, it's during the day. The moment where we start to really get back into our bodies, where we get back into our vision, where we get back into our hearts, and we can see things and experience things more clearly. I'm hoping that today can serve as an opportunity for you to wake up again. Maybe Tuesdays can now be the day where you wake up again and you get a new lease on the week ahead. You get a redo, a cosmic do-over, a cosmic rebrand for the rest of your week. On Monday, February 23rd, the moon entered Gemini around 6:29 p.m. Pacific time. It also made a square to the sun, who's at 29 degrees of Pisces right now, and Mars at 24 degrees of Aquarius. Yesterday, it could be that your emotional needs were conflicting with what it is that you need to do to just carry out the day-to-day operations of your life. Layla Hermosi says, F your mood, follow your plan. Sometimes we need to act in order to feel better. We think we have to feel good on the inside in order to do good things. And I get that, but the truth is confidence is really created through discipline. It's created through saying that you're going to do things and then going out and doing them, even when it's really hard. Even when your whole being, your whole vessel wants to cling on to what's safe. Because what our brains like to do is cling on to whatever is safe, cling on to whatever has been predictable. And sometimes what has been safe or predictable is actually an outcome that you don't even want. Sometimes having no clients in your business is safe and predictable. It really is stressful to find systems or to restructure your offers or to work with a business coach and then therefore have paid clients. Because that, even though it's what you want, it's unfamiliar. So you might find yourself self-sabotaging. You might find yourself pushing off the things you need to do to have a successful business. For parents, and I can say this for myself, talking about finding a way of sleeping that works best for your kid, whether it's co-sleeping or sleep training or in a crib, in a floor bed, whatever that is. It's really easy to just get stuck on whatever is comfortable. Right now, it's very comfortable for me and my husband to be up all night with our baby who will not sleep, instead of taking the time to maybe work with a sleep consultant or read a book on sleep training or find another way to spend our evenings, right? Even though the outcome we want is that all three of us are sleeping through the night, we all feel peaceful, happy, healthy, and safe. The method, the pathway to get there is going to be uncomfortable because it's not where our current comfort zone is. Same thing with dating and relationships. So many people right now are looking for the one. They want to find union. They want to find somebody that they could be with forever, at least a long period of time. I think we're all tired of the F-boy, F-girl culture and casual dating. Yet, what I find, and I hear my friends saying this or just out into our culture, there's this attachment to the way that one has always done things. One has always dated on Hinge, for example. They keep going to Hinge to find the one, to find the soulmate. But perhaps they have to do something different and make themselves uncomfortable to align with that vision that they want of the one. Maybe the one is at their yoga studio that they keep avoiding eye contact with everybody after they leave Shavasana, but the truth is the one for them is actually on the mat next to them every week. And they're not paying attention because they've decided that the one is on Hinge. So when I go out into the world, or the opposite of that, perhaps they've done a lot of in-person networking and connections and community, and they keep meeting like friendship soulmates, but they haven't found anybody where they have this like unique spark with. But there are so many opportunities with online dating for them to find somebody new, to connect with somebody that might run in a different social circle, but has the same values, morals, and ethics as them, and that they could have chemistry with. So they have to make themselves uncomfortable with downloading Hinge, getting on the dating app, and finding somebody that way. Whatever we're doing right now that has gotten us the result that we have right now is going to continue creating that result. If you like the way that your life is looking right now, then keep doing whatever it is you're doing. If you don't, then this is an opportunity to start to shift that. On the flip side, I'm a Gemini sun, Mercury, I love a devil's advocate moment. The flip side of that coin is that if you have been hustling yourself to the ground, if you've just been grinding, F the need to prove your worth through what you do and how much you do, and rest instead. Only you know which distortion you're in, or if you have a completely balanced relationship with the way you exert your will and your energy and your Mars-like qualities, then good for you. Keep rocking with it. This is a good time to reassess how do you want to use your energy, especially because this was on Monday. So now if you're watching this on Tuesday, this is your time to reset, realign, readjust, and to learn from the decisions that you might have made yesterday. I felt this yesterday. I'll tell you a story. I found a job that I really want and I'm qualified for, and it literally feels like a dream job. And I'm not going to say I didn't get it because we don't know. However, I discovered yesterday that about a week ago, I sent the CEO of this company my passport application on LinkedIn instead of my job application. Now, thankfully, I had some wits about me and I actually applied with the proper application packet. But I thought, oh, I'm being so cool and bold and Saturn in Aries, and I'm going to reach out to this person on LinkedIn and I'm going to attach my application. And I attached my passport application. And I went through a little bit of a dark night of the soul last night. It sounds funny because you would think it's kind of stupid. People make mistakes, whatever, like just get over it. But the reason why I left this particular industry, that the job is blending with my current industry, is actually because I fainted, got a concussion, and I couldn't perform my job duties. And so when I left that experience, I started telling myself, I'm dumb, I'm not smart enough, I can't do things that are professional in nature or technical. And even though it's been almost 10 years since that experience, let's say around 8 years since that experience, and my brain is pretty much back to normal now, I think. Normal for a quirky gal like me. My body was reliving that experience of having to let a dream die because I wasn't capable. And it started telling me these stories that this is true and this is happening again, and here we are. But I had to move through that process with the support of some really lovely friends and my partner who were so nice and comforting around this experience, and turn it into a joke of, well, my one friend said, at least you didn't send her like a smutty novel entry or journal entry. And I was like, well, now she has my proof of citizenship if she decides to hire me. So sometimes you just have to let yourself feel the frustration and that tension between what you want to experience and where you are right now in life. And then either A, take a step forward, or B, take a step forward, make a mess, fall on your face, and then laugh about it later. We learn from every experience we have in life. Like, I will never do that again. I hope not. And I will take 3 times as much time to upload a document now moving forward for any kind of job application and make sure it's not my passport. So many of us, we put our worth into being perfect, into being exceptional. I know myself, especially those of us who come from immigrant families, it's like indoctrinated into you that, we worked so hard to be able to give you this life, and you need to make us proud, and you need to wear our family name, and all that I got kind of from my maternal lineage, who I definitely look up to, and I'm inspired by all of them and everything they've created. But what happens is we end up internalizing that. So anytime that we're not perfect, we feel ashamed, we feel like we're not good enough, we feel like we're just absolute failures. But the truth is, everybody does make mistakes, and the right opportunities for you will give you grace. And also, you need to give yourself that grace too, because you are your own best friend, and the world around us can sometimes mirror the way that we treat ourselves, not always. But the more kind and graceful we are to ourselves, the more kind and graceful people we tend to attract into our orbit. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead to the next major transit of this week, which is on Wednesday, February 25th. The Sun in Pisces will be making a square to Lilith in Sagittarius today around 7:41 p.m. Pacific time. We're again coming to this grapple, or this kind of square off between who you are, your raw, primal essence, maybe the parts of you that you're scared to lean into, the parts of you that you don't like to show other people. And then the sun, which is our outward expression, just the roles that you wear in society, the hats and the roles that you wear. It's hard being a human in 2026. It's hard and it's beautiful and it's crazy all at the same time. So many of us are waking up to structures and systems and horrible things about our world and our society that have been swept under the rug. And today, with the sun square Lilith, we might all be some of those people. We might be presented with some information that is jarring, that could be traumatizing for some of us, that could be triggering for some of us. The best thing we can do is take care of ourselves, stay informed, but take care of yourself and find ways to have a higher perspective for what's going on so that we can stay into the energy of finding solutions. But I really want to empower people like survivors at this time to take space for yourself, and whoever finds themselves being triggered by this information as revealed, like, don't feel like you always have to be the leader. I'm not in the boat of people who think that every creator and everybody on the internet should be talking about every single issue. I don't think that's true. The first reason is because then we end up muting the voices that matter most. I don't want to take up space talking about an issue that somebody else directly experienced and that they're sharing. I want to elevate that person, share what they're doing, and give them the attention and inspire other people to pay attention to them too. I don't want my perspective on something to outshine somebody who's directly experiencing it. And also, we're not all experts in everything. And unfortunately, given some of the news that I've heard recently about 1984 vibes with social media, it's literally not safe for everybody to share about every single topic. And I don't want to get into the details of that or conspiracy theories of that. But whether or not you decide to share your opinion about something that happens today or is revealed to you is up to you. But the primary balance is finding who you are, dropping in and finding into, like, how can I be a part of providing a solution to this thing? And how can I hold myself and maybe even others through the awakening of realizing just what has been happening. The moon enters Cancer tonight around 9:11 Pacific time PM. And this could be encouraging you to, like, snuggle up close with a loved one, with a blanket, to take a bath, to pet an animal, something like that. And the moon in Cancer is a good 2.5 days to really nurture yourself, to nurture your dwelling as it rules the 4th house of home, to connect to your ancestors or your roots. And with it being Pisces season, you might find that your ancestors are communicating to you in different ways. Okay, I'm going to tell you something that you might think I'm crazy or you might totally resonate with it. Let me know in the comments below. I had this dream that with a lot of the cosmos and Pisces, crazy dreams are bound to happen. I was on this dating show and nobody would match with me because they thought my natural hair and skin were ugly. And I kept hearing that, like, over and over again, and I felt so embarrassed and ashamed. And the next day I had these random Mulan songs were in my head. It was first it was Reflection by Christina Aguilera, that version, and then like the ones like She'll Bring Honor to Us All. And I decided to listen to it because I'm wondering, I wonder if my ancestors were trying to tell me something. The first song is all about letting your outer reflection match who you are inside and going inward and having these conversations around who am I and how do I show up, and if I'm really myself, will I be letting my family down? And then the other song is the women who are like beautifying Mulan for to meet a prince or king or whoever partner, and they're kind of like dressing her in the way that they want her to show up. And they're saying that, like, if you dress like this and you act like this, you'll bring honor to us all. When the truth is, she ends up not passing the test, she ends up failing, and then she's, kind of ridiculed for that. I thought to myself, maybe I've been pissing my ancestors off and they want me to wear my hair natural. On Sunday, I worked at a market and I did some mini readings, and I decided to just wear my hair natural. And it's not that I don't love my natural hair, I do, it just takes more maintenance. So I did my curl routine, and it's interesting because at this market, it ended up being more abundant than previous markets. I got to serve like 9 people back to back, which was awesome. Whereas my last 2 markets, I had maybe like 2 or 3 clients, maybe 5. And it's not necessarily about making money, but I just want to support as many people as I can. And also, when you work a market, you pay to have your table there. There's some kind of financial pressure around, okay, I want to break even financially, and then I want to help as many people as I can. It was cool to see, wow, what a successful and abundant day I had. I wonder if my ancestors were blessing me in some kind of way because I was listening to their guidance, or if I just so happened to be maybe more magnetic than usual or connected because I was listening to the messages they sent me. So food for thought. You might find when the moon is in Cancer, conversations like this could be coming up for you, for your loved ones, and in your communities as well. I feel like with the moon in Cancer, you might have a butterfly visit you that represents somebody on the other side. And you can always ask for a sign of, oh, I saw this beautiful butterfly today. Dear universe, spirit, God, higher self, can you show me through another message or another synchronicity who it might be that's trying to connect with me in the animal world and the spirit world? And how can I get to utilize their wisdom in my day-to-day life and integrate it and bring it through my body? Sometimes when the moon's in Cancer, we feel a little moody or sensitive. This is a good 2.5 days to get into water and to find ways to be more fluid with your emotions. Cancer is a cardinal sign. It likes things to be structured and secure. Finding ways to add some more mutability to that water element could be helpful. Moving on to the next major transit of the week, which is the beginning of Mercury retrograde. This happens on Thursday, February 26th at 10:48 p.m. Pacific time. So Mercury is in its detriment in Pisces. I'm always cautious to say things like that because I don't want to shame anybody who has this placement natally. Mercury in Pisces, you guys are the best poets and great healers with your words, with the way you communicate with people. But what can happen is when you have Mercury, who's such like a fast moving planet, who's like go, 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 wants to intellectualize everything, wants to have bullet points and listicles and slideshows, coming against this Pisces energy of wanting to feel things. Not everything needs to be said. Some things can just be felt. Pisces, Mercury in Pisces wants to like look at you and beam almost information to you without saying a word. So now we have Mercury, who's already in its detriment in Pisces, is now going retrograde. And this is until March 20th. The best way that you can work with this energy is to renew, revise, and review. This is a great time to review any old tasks that you've been putting off. Like go to the DMV, it might take longer than usual, but this is a good time if you have an expired registration. If you need to have a clearing conversation with a friend or a past lover or a coworker, this is a great time to initiate that. You might get a text from your ex or an old coworker or friend, but it could be a good opportunity to provide healing and closure to that situation. And also, it's a good time if you're a business owner, as I know many of you are, to look at your offers, look at your website, look at your content, and assess, are my day-to-day operations aligned with where I am and where I want to go? Are there any courses that I need to take to increase my skill set? Do I need to hire an editor so that next time I apply for a job, I'm not sending my passport application? And not necessarily to launch anything new. It's not that you can't. It's just that it might take some more time to get up and running. And let's say you start a business today and your business will have a chart and it will have Mercury in retrograde in its chart, which could indicate that throughout the trajectory of your business, there could be more technical issues than necessary. For parents, look at the structures and the systems that you use with your children and think about, okay, so now my kid is however much older than they were when I first implemented this. Like, is there anything else I want to implement and kind of like refine? I want to add refine as one of my R words for Mercury retrograde. I feel like refinement is a really good time to do that. On Friday, February 27th, Moon enters Leo around 12:17 a.m. Pacific time, making this a good day to play, to rest, to have some fun, to connect with literal children like your kids, or if you're a teacher with your students, or even just the inner child that lives within you. Later on this morning, Mars in Aquarius will be making a square to Uranus and Taurus around 8:20 a.m. Pacific time. You could be feeling this need to break free, to be rebellious. You might have something could happen this morning that is somewhat triggering for you. You're like on fire. And what I would say with this energy is don't make any long-term decisions based on a short-term emotion. So emotions matter. They are valid. They tell us about who we are and what we value. We should definitely listen to them. Especially recurring emotion. If something we've been stewing on for a while, we've been feeling it for a while, I'm not saying to avoid that. The more you push your emotions down, like the more likely you could have a chronic illness later in life. It's not the vibe. However, how often in life do we just act immediately on the emotional sensitivity or the emotional upheaval that we're having? Then we end up making choices that we wouldn't have made at the end of our emotional wave. Those of you who are into human design and are emotional authorities like myself, we're learning you gotta ride the emotional wave sometimes before you make a choice. And it's okay to tell people, wait, I need more time to think about this, or I'm a little triggered by this conversation. Let me just take a step back. You don't even have to reply right away. If somebody sends you a message today that's triggering, don't reply. Give it some time and space, run it through your body. And anytime that your body just feels super hot, this came through in a client session the other day, bring those sensations down through your body, down through your feet to the earth, because Mother Earth can hold all. And you don't have to be responsible for holding the intensity. And then when your emotions start to simmer, you can look and see, okay, what are the facts of the situation? And from a more empowered place, how do I want to move forward? If you can find a way to not let Mars square Uranus throw you off your course and lose your cool, and you can stay calm and collected, this could be a really auspicious day for business, for your career, and for just your overall feeling of life purpose. Because Venus, planet of love, beauty, and money, will be making a really nice conjunction with the North Node, the aspect that rules kind of where our soul is growing and evolving into in Pisces. This could be a very sweet sign. Venus is also exalted in Pisces. Sometimes we have to experience the tension or the friction of something or a challenge of something to be able to appreciate when it is beautiful. This today could be a day where you wake up and you're feeling playful and excited, and then you get a crazy text from somebody on social media that says that they hate your work and they think that you are the worst astrologer in the world, and you want to respond, but you don't respond. Instead, you deal with the anxiety that comes up for you, or the anger, or the sadness, or the insecurity, and you process it, and you're like, you know what? I know who I am, and I know my astrology skills, and I'm just going to keep rocking with it. And you keep rocking with it. You go on your Facebook or whatever, Instagram or TikTok, and you make a video, and then that video goes viral. Or you go out into the world, you go to a market, and you meet a new client. Or you hear back from a job that you applied for that you accidentally sent your passport in for, whatever that is. Maybe with a partner, if you got into a friction in the morning, later on at night could be a good time to come back together and connect. And just remember what the two of you are working towards. What's your North Star as a couple or as a unit? And how can you kind of realign with that? Okay, so there's not much going on in the in-between days. I'm not saying that there's nothing happening astrologically, but I like to focus on the major transits here so that you can learn to swim with the cosmic current instead of against it. That was your Astro Weather Forecast for the week of February 23rd to March 1st, 2026. I'm here if you have any questions at all, and I'll see you next week. Much love.